everyone's talking shit about Madam Web, saying about how it's an absolutely hilarious dumpster fire, but nobody is talking about the absolutely hilarious behind-the-scenes featurette that they did. Okay, so they sat the cast down, presumably at gunpoint, and they forced them to talk about what makes Madame Web different from other superhero movies.
This film and this story is different because it's really grounded in reality. I think I'm seeing the future. It has mystery embedded in the story.
It's got psychologically mind-bending.
You guys, it's psychologically mind-bending. Did she forget to put her arms in her sleeves before they filmed this?
It's got psychologically mind-bending scenarios that you're just gonna be stumped on.
Wow, that had so many psychologically mind-bending scenarios. I'm stumped.
Madam Web is unlike any other Marvel movie.
Thanks, Dakota Johnson. Dakota Johnson has not seen any other Marvel movies? Also, why was that so cut together? Like, could they not make her say that all in one take?
Unlike any other Marvel movie.
It's genuinely refreshing.
Wow, I'm just so genuinely refreshed.
You're showing off. Maybe a little.
Dakota, do you think we could emote like one time in this entire movie? Now, if that doesn't make you want to watch the whole movie, I don't know, man. And let's be honest, you did not go see this movie. Oh, my microphone fell over. Okay. I sat in a theater and watched this movie. It was legitimately one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Okay, so the movie opens in the Amazon rainforest in 1973. This pregnant lady is researching spiders. She's hired this dude to be her bodyguard, and he goes on to be like the main villain of this whole thing. And his superpower is speaking without moving his lips.
I agreed to provide security for you because I thought you were close to finding the spider.
I don't know who this actor is, like I've never seen him in anything, but I feel like something catastrophic must have happened while they filmed this because like literally more than half of his lines are dubbed in. Okay, but anyways, back to this lady who's researching spiders. These spiders aren't just your average, everyday, ordinary spiders.
The peptides in the spider's venom, they supercharge their cellular structure.
Oh, no way, you mean like Spider-Man? The movie also very clumsily introduces something called Las Arañas.
Yeah, mythical spider people who run across the treetops and punish evil men with their black poison touch.
Yeah, exactly. This pregnant lady is about to have a very exciting day. I mean, she finds the spider, which she's been looking for like literally years, and it's like the first special effect in this whole movie, and it's like pretty bad. Is that spider keyframed into the jar? She gets shot, which is pretty exciting, I feel like.
No, we could help so many people.
I'm not interested in helping people. No one helped me when my family was starving.
Yeah, that's pretty much all like the villain motivation we ever get for this dude. I just love how casually he drops that. And then she gets rescued by Las Arañas. Dude, the Las Arañas, they move in such an unsettling way. I'm pretty sure a pregnant woman should not be moving like that, and I'm also pretty sure a gunshot victim should not be moving like that. This baby is coming out of scrambled eggs. I cannot get over that running animation. He looks like fucking like Noah from the zoo race. So she gets rescued by the Las Arañas, and they take her back to this like pool cave thing where they have her get bitten by one of these like genetically modified spiders, and the lady gives birth to her baby, and then she dies. We then cut to the year 2003. Don't worry if you forget for some reason that this takes place in 2003, you will be reminded several times. So now the baby's all grown up. It's Dakota Johnson, and she drives an ambulance now.
Cassie, I lost the pulse. I'm starting compressions now.
Ben, what are you doing? Oh shit, his name's actually
there?
Ben. Her partner Ben's last name is Parker. Ben Parker. Hey, wait a second. You mean like Dakota's shift is pretty eventful, although her complete and utter lack of any identifiable emotion might lead you to believe otherwise?
Come on!
She almost runs over this girl who is, for some reason, skateboarding into oncoming traffic.
Shouldn't you be in school? Who flips off an ambulance?
She gets a Mountain Dew sponsorship, which is great. This kid gives her a drawing in exchange for her saving his mom's life.
That's you. I mean,
Thanks, buddy.
Sorry, kiddo, but next time, could you just get me a nice ice-cold bottle of Mountain Dew? Sweet lightning, please. And the stepdaughter of this lady who she saved is this girl. Write that down. And also she runs into this girl who lives in her building. Write that down. The first quarter of this movie, there's like a bunch of just relatively meaningless scenes that I think are supposed to kind of convey some character information about Dakota Johnson. There's a scene where she and Ben eat fortune cookies together.
Here. Let's see what your future holds for you.
You will be in a movie that's somehow worse than Morbius? She lets a feral cat just walk through her open window and start eating shit in her apartment.
Us strays need to stick together.
Really looking forward to the scene where she does this with like a coyote. Dakota has this box of exposition that her mom left her so she could have some exposition to remember her by. And every now and then Dakota will like, open up the box of exposition and take out some of the exposition items, like this book full of exposition or this teddy bear full of exposition. Okay, but enough about exposition. Dakota's got some ambulance shit to do. So while she's saving this dude, she falls off of a bridge and hits her head and dies. And then she has this like hallucination, which is like just like a treasure chest of unfinished special effects. But Ben saves her, and now all of a sudden, she can see the future? So the way they depict this ability is they'll let a whole scene play out, and then they'll cut back to a point in the past, and she'll be like, wait, didn't we already do all this shit? Like, she's able to predict her vitals after the accident, much to Ben's surprise.
Wait, I need to get your oxygen levels.
Again?
What are you talking about?
My O2 is 89.
No, it's not. Oh, you're right. Are you okay? What the hell happened down there?
Fine. I just want to go home and watch Idol.
Because it's 2003. Okay, but we've spent enough time with Dakota. What's Villain Man been up to? I'm referring to this man as Villain Man because I think his name is Ezekiel. They really only refer to him by name like 2 times in this movie. So he's Villain Man. Okay, so it turns out that this dude has been having dreams every night where in the future, he knows that he will be killed by 3 spider women. And dude, these spider women, they're wacky. The first one comes at you pretty normal. Then the second one, she just has magic, I guess. And then the third one has extra arms and they look terrible. So it turns out because he stole the spider from the pregnant lady, he is now being haunted by a dream of how he is going to die in the future. His solution to this problem is to seduce an NSA agent so he can steal like a government algorithm that will let him hijack all the cameras in the whole city so he can find these girls based on like his recollection of what their faces will look like in the future. Like most bad movies, I feel like there is a core idea here that's actually kind of interesting. Like the idea of knowing who is going to kill you and then trying to hunt them down in the present. There is something there. They could have made a good movie about that, I feel like. It's not this one, though. Okay, so we then cut to Dakota Johnson at a baby shower, which is sponsored by Pepsi. The baby shower, by the way, is for Ben Parker's sister-in-law, Mary Parker. Hey, wait a second. This movie's fucking creaming its jeans at all times to tell you that this baby is going to be Spider-Man.
Never stops leaping around in there. And always hungry.
Like, they have an entire scene where they all sit around and guess the baby's name. Do you get it? He's in there. It's Spider-Man. We have the rights to him. I mean, he's not going to be in this one. We don't have the money for that, but... Okay, so in case you forgot, Dakota Johnson is a paramedic. So now they go down to an emergency at the docks, and her future vision powers keep acting up, and everything is like blurring together, and it's like super confusing. And she keeps seeing visions of one of her coworkers being killed, and like despite the fact that she's trying to warn him about all this, she just can't prevent him from being absolutely obliterated by this truck.
This is O'Neill. Clear up dockside.
So then for some reason, and the movie never really explains why, she decides to go to the train station where all 3 of the girls from before are also kind of converging. Okay, so she gets on the train and then she interacts with like the strangest set of extras you've ever seen. We have guy with Skyrim NPC dialogue.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
We have guy who creepily sits right next to Dakota Johnson when there are so many empty seats on this train and then starts asking her if he is on the right train. Dakota has honestly the first realistic reaction to being able to see the future.
Oh my god. Is this real?
Are you okay, dear?
Oh god, I think I'm going crazy.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
Thanks, man. Shouldn't you be harassing people about having their weapons drawn or something?
God might get nervous.
Okay, so she keeps seeing in her visions the 3 girls being murdered on the train, so she very emphatically and emotionally tells them that they need to leave.
Go! Get off! You're gonna die if you stay here!
Guys, we gotta get out of here. Come on, I'm being serious. I'm Dakota Johnson. It's me. Okay, so yes, this dude is trying to kill them, but these kids don't know that. From their perspective, this lady is just getting them up and herding them off of this train to God knows where.
What exactly is this emergency?
This woman's trying to abduct us!
What?
Yes, Sydney. Excellent. You figured it out.
That's your emergency. That man is trying to kill you.
Okay, yes, admittedly, that is weird, but this still has all the vibes of an abduction. So the cops arrest her because, yeah, she's trying to abduct 3 children, but then Villain Man shows up. He starts doing like Tom and Jerry moves on these cops. Like he keeps teleporting back and forth across the realm. They also never explain why he's wearing a Spider-Man costume or like where he got it, because Spider-Man doesn't exist in this universe yet, right? He's in there. I thought that's what the whole point of the thing was. Okay, so they escape out onto the street, and then Dakota Johnson pushes these 3 kids into a taxi cab because this is an abduction. I understand she's trying to save their lives, but it would help if she could stop doing things in such an abducty manner, you know? Then she steals the taxi cab and starts driving away with the children because this is an abduction. And as soon as they're like out of danger, it immediately becomes clear they have no idea what to do with these characters.
That guy was nuts. Do you guys think he killed those cops?
I mean, he could climb on walls and dodge bullets. How is that even possible?
It's not. There's not enough frictional force in the bare human foot to overcome gravity and keep him stuck to the wall, much less the ceiling.
Well, we figured out which one is the nerdy one. The girls all start fighting with each other because they haven't learned to work together yet. That's what this movie is for.
What is your problem?
What do you mean?
I'm just trying to help.
Okay, anyone who wants to leave can leave right now.
All of you should be getting out of the car. But she actually doesn't let them leave because the story on the news is that Dakota was somehow involved with the abduction, and the girls are the only ones who know the truth of what happened, so she doesn't let them leave. Smart thinking, Dakota. This is actually somehow starting to feel less and less like an abduction. Just don't do anything creepy, like take them out into the middle of the woods or something. So they go to the woods, and they're all very confused.
Okay, so what's the deal with Ceiling Guy?
I told you, I don't know. I've never seen him before.
You know what I'm confused about? Dakota Johnson, you probably have so much 50 Shades of Grey money. Why are you in this movie?
I don't know. Crazy shit's been happening, and I don't know why. Stop asking me.
Okay. So then they're all like, hey, wait a second. We remember you from the beginning of the movie. And she's like, ha, that's crazy. By the way, I can also see the future. And they're like, who is this man who's trying to kill us?
You know the other guy can walk on the ceiling, right?
No, he can't. He was using his hands.
Why are you like this?
I'm just saying it was more of a crawl.
It was like a spider person.
Hey, wait a second. I remember seeing something like this in my mom's old exposition book. Oh, but the book is back at my apartment. What's she gonna do? Leave these kids out here in the middle of the woods? Yeah. Okay, so now that they're out here in the middle of the woods all alone together, they can start bonding a little bit, you know? We can start getting to know who these girls really are.
Who's got the jerky?
You ate it all.
I had like 3 pieces.
Out of 5.
Okay, so we do in fact have the nerdy one. Wait, is she wearing a shirt that says, I eat math for breakfast? I mean, she's wearing it because she's the nerdy one, but like, unironically, I kind of want that shirt. Okay, but then we also have the mean, sassy one. But it's okay that she's mean because her parents, they work for corporations, so they're evil. And she's allowed to be mean and sassy because that makes her a snarky bad girl who fights back against the system. That'll really resonate with these Gen Zers, am I right, boys? Straight up, I'm just going to play you the full interaction between these two because it shows you just how fucking obnoxious these characters are.
We don't have any money, genius.
Well, I have money, so...
You have money, so we should do what you want?
You have something to say?
You know, I bet your dad is a senator and your mom sits on the board at the Met and you summer in the Hamptons next to Martha Stewart.
My parents are in Beijing, where my dad is raking in a ton of money for making plastics that pollute the ocean, and my mom is spending it all on hideous art.
Damn, dog. Absolutely go off on them. Oh, wait, can we go back like 15 seconds?
Okay, forget jerky. Did you guys...
That was you. You did that. Sydney Sweeney's character is supposed to be like the innocent / sheltered one. Like she walks around with like a teddy bear in her backpack, but then she just drops shit like this out of nowhere.
I know Taekwondo.
And that never comes back. They never pay that off in this movie. Absolute blank piece of paper as a character. So those are our 3 main characters. Nerdy, Sassy, and Sydney. Okay, but then they get hungry, so they decide to leave the woods and go to this diner. Sydney needs a little bit of convincing.
Cassie told us to stay here.
Sydney, it's Denny's. You can get a grand slamwich.
Yeah. You're right.
So what's Dakota Johnson been doing this whole time? Basically nothing. She goes to the apartment to read from the Book of Exposition, remembers that Las Arañas exist, and then for some reason she tries to climb the walls. Why does she crumple like that? I feel like she only jumped like a foot off the ground. Did her legs stop working? Okay, so they go to the diner. This fucking scene, man.
We should go over there and talk to them.
Oh, excuse me, Sydney. Girl, those men are 30. This one, that's Jeremy. He has like a 401k and like kids and a mortgage. And let's see, how old is he? Oh, let me just roll a quick investigation check here. Ooh, 35. Yeah, you all are supposedly teenagers. If this flock of grown men is hitting on you at fucking Denny's, you should probably be backing away as quickly as possible. Please do not go over and talk to them, and whatever you do, and I can't stress this enough, do not go over and dance on top of their table to the song Toxic by Britney Spears.
I love this song.
Yeah, because it's 2003. Please don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to dance.
Dude, I love how absolutely taken aback these guys look. And I mean, fair enough, because this is absolutely unhinged behavior. But like, look at this dude. He's fucking terrified. Oh, fuck, she stepped on my grand slamwich. So meanwhile, Dakota Johnson had a vision of them all getting killed in this diner, and for some reason she decides to yank away what would have been the most satisfying ending possible for this movie, and she gets back in the stolen taxicab to come save them.
This track is going to be huge. Are you in the zone? This is Britney Spears.
Anybody know what year it is?
Guys. We have to go.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
So yeah, she rescues them and she's pissed. And I mean, you know, rightfully so, honestly.
So much for not needing a babysitter. Do you guys think of anybody but yourselves?
I'm so sorry.
Yes. You should be so sorry.
So they go to this motel where we get more backstory for Nerdy Girl.
Well, fine. Then you guys can just go to the police.
No. My dad got deported 6 months ago. I came home from school and he was gone. Except he never told me he didn't have his papers, so I've just been living by myself in our apartment since then. So I can't go to the police, okay? Until I'm 18, I can't exist.
Remember what I said about bad movies having kind of like a good idea at their core? Yeah, this was probably what the whole movie should have been about. Super interesting backstory. Like, the reason she can't go to the police for help is because she has to basically be invisible until she's 18. That's pretty interesting. With that said, probably not a great idea to be dancing on top of people's tables at fucking Denny's.
You're on your own?
I don't need anyone else to look out for me.
Oh my god, that's terrible. What do you eat? Math mostly. Dakota decides the only way to figure out what's actually going on here is to go back to Peru where her mom was doing research, so she just drops the girls off with Ben and Mary.
I'll be gone a week. I don't want to leave them, but he's out there looking for them, and they're relying on me, and I don't know how else to protect them.
Okay, look, I'm staying with Mary for a few weeks while Richard's out of town. He won't find them there. But Cassie, I can't pretend to understand what's going on here. Just be careful.
I'm sorry, how did he get on board so fast with, I can see the future, and also there's an evil Spider-Man who is going to come kill these 3 girls, so please take care of these 3 girls that I just dropped off in this stolen taxi cab. By the way, I did not abduct them like the news said that I did. How did this all happen? Did we miss this? Did they not film this? Did they cut this? Did I have a stroke? Am I having a stroke? So she goes to Peru and she figures out where her mom was doing research based on the photos that her mom took. Because, you know, it's just an entire country you have to search. So she meets up with this Las Arañas dude who saved her mom, and he rips off Doctor Strange, and then he like info dumps for like 5 minutes about her abilities.
But seeing into the future is only the start. Your mind has infinite potential. If you master your power, you can use the web to be in more than one place at the same time. And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
So what you're trying to say is, meanwhile, back at Ben's house, the girls are getting up to some classic teen antics.
Okay, let's try and remember to pick up after ourselves, okay, guys?
Hey,
All right, throwing popcorn is super fun.
Hey, we need to get across that these girls are teens. What do teens do? I don't fucking know, like throw popcorn everywhere? I've never met a child.
Either I peed myself or my water broke.
So they take all 3 of the girls and they leave to go to the hospital. And like, not to give strategy notes to the characters of fucking Madam Web, but like, if the villain has the ability to find you anywhere except the safe house that you're staying at, why would you leave the safe house? It's not like the 3 of you are going to be able to help at all with the pregnancy. And it's not like Ben is going to be able to do shit if Villain Man comes after you and he's not there. So, I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyways, so Dakota gets home from Peru while this whole thing is going on, and Villain Man is chasing them, and she steals an ambulance and drives it through a billboard. hey, Villain Man, I've been sent to kind of debrief you about everything that happened today. Pretty good performance. I saw a lot of stuff I liked, but just one note, if I have one, next time, maybe don't jump in front of the ambulance that's crashing through the billboard. Oh, yeah, for sure. Fuck. The whole thing culminates at this scene at a fireworks storage warehouse. They're gonna lure Villain Man in to kill him, so they use the road flares from the paramedics bag and the smoke grenades from the paramedics bag to set a trap for him. They end up on the roof fighting under the biggest product placement in the known universe, and Villain Man is like completely smacking them around.
You can't save all three!
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
You're gonna be okay. Anya, give me your hand.
I mean, I know they explicitly said that she could do this, but it's still so dumb. Why do her powers of clairvoyance and future vision give her the ability to become 3 separate physical entities? That makes no fucking sense. So then she lures Villain Man into some falling debris, and he's killed by the Pepsi sign.
New York City's a whole new level.
Tough luck, idiot. Next time, you might want to remember that Madame Web has 3 powers: clairvoyance, the ability to become multiple physical entities at the same time, and Pepsi. If it seems like we fast forwarded a bit through that finale, we did. It's really boring, and I saved us like 30 minutes. You're welcome. Okay, but then Dakota Johnson falls off the roof and into the water, and she gets hit in the face with an exploding firework, and it blinds her. I guess her character in the comics is blind, but it kind of feels like the writers forgot that she was supposed to become blind, and they were like, oh, fuck, yeah, and then she goes blind. The end. And she would have been dead, but the girls fish her out of the water and perform group CPR on her to revive her. And everyone is fine now.
I'm sad to tell you that the baby's doing really well. And he's loving being an uncle.
Yeah, all the fun and none of the responsibility.
That's what he thinks.
Get it? Because, oh yeah, and Dakota Johnson is in a wheelchair all of a sudden. I mean, it makes sense that falling into the water back first absolutely fucking shattered her entire cord. But like, again, it feels like the character in the comics is in a wheelchair and the writers are like, oh yeah, fuck, I forgot. And the movie ends with Dakota Johnson being a total dickhead about being able to see the future.
And we got takeout, but we didn't
Kung
know.
Pao chicken is perfect.
How'd you know?
Bless you, Anya.
What?
Oh, and you're gonna want to change your pants. Why? Ah, damn it, I pooped myself. But wait, we gotta tease our future movies. That was the whole point of making this movie. So here's an absolutely eye-melting preview of coming attractions.
Just give me the cat, please.
Never giving up. Discovering you were always more powerful than you thought.
Am I supposed to know what the fuck is going on?
Whatever the future holds. We'll be ready. And you know the best thing about the future? It hasn't happened yet.
Yep, and it never will, because this movie made $4.25. If you'll permit me for a second to make a little bit of a more serious point about cinematic universes, I think this movie could have worked if it wasn't trying to set up 3 future protagonists instead of 1 current protagonist. I just rewatched the behind-the-scenes documentary for the Dark Knight trilogy, and Christopher Nolan talks about how, when he was making those movies, he always tried to put all of his eggs in one basket for every movie he was making, instead of holding stuff back for the next one. Like, apparently they were going to put Harvey Dent in Batman Begins, but they looked at the script and they were like, okay, he's not going to have enough of a function in this movie to warrant using the name of the character, so we're not going to put him in. And then they were able to find a place for him that actually worked in the story they were telling when they made another movie. And that's how you get these 3 really satisfying individual movies that also form a satisfying overarching story as well. Building it like a true cinematic universe is a bit different because kind of by definition you have to hold some stuff back, but think about like Iron Man 1. Like, very clearly they were trying to set up a cinematic universe, but they did it by introducing you to one protagonist at a time and making a movie that is fully focused around that character. They didn't just throw a bunch of blank piece of paper characters at you and say, I know it sucks now, but maybe it will suck less later. And that's what this movie very much feels like. It feels like they decided to half-ass this movie so they could make full-ass movies later. And the problem with that is, when you do that, you might be blowing your chance to make those later movies. The Sony Spider-Man universe is objectively the funniest piece in this whole cinematic universe puzzle, because it's like, you come out with Morbius, get absolutely fucking memed on by the entire internet, and then your follow-up is to create an even funnier, memeier movie. And then you're like surprised when it doesn't work. Apparently now the future of this entire thing is riding on the success of Kraven the Hunter.
He is weak, like his mother. Leave him.
What happened that day?
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
He gets his superpowers because a drop of lion blood gets in his blood. And the future of this entire franchise relies on this not only not being a fucking dumpster fire, but actually being successful? Good luck! Okay, that's all I got for you.